Okay, guys, sorry I had to mute some of you out as you were saying good morning there, but it is 8:15 and we want to get started on time. Thank you all for joining us this morning. My name is Chris, and I have the pleasure this morning to get our call started off and to introduce our speaker that's going to be sharing from the book with us this morning. And Patty and I go way back. We've known each other somewhere around 15 years now, been working together. I've got to watch her grow a wonderful business and a large business, help lots of people with a wonderful product and a wonderful opportunity. And it isn't the first time doing it. She is a multiple successful person. And, man, I always have been told by my mentor that that's the sign that someone really knows what they're doing when they can not only do it once, but they can turn around and do it again. One of the coolest things I ever seen is she was featured in Work From Home magazine. They flew up there, drove up there, whatever they did to Kansas, and took pictures of her and her husband and her family on their farm and did a big giant interview so that she could even help inspire more people with her wonderful story and testimony. So with that being said, I'm excited to hear from her this morning. Patty, are you there with us this morning?
I am here. Thank you, Chris. And I always think when you say that, is that really me? But I appreciate the introduction. And I just appreciate everybody being here with us in the mornings. What a great way to start your day. And we do these calls every morning, Monday through Friday at 8:15 a.m. So, and if you can't make it, we also have them recorded at the Wake Up Call. And so today we are in the book Little Things Matter, 100 Little Things Matter by W. Todd Smith, and we're on chapter 94. And this is a good one. It's a good one all the way around. So Todd says in here, competition is all around us. It arises wherever two or more parties strive for a goal that cannot be shared. Perhaps it's a heated game of Monopoly, a high-stakes sales competition, or an intense tennis match. I'd like to present 10 traits of great competitors, applicable in any competitive situation. Adopting these traits will help you become a respected rival. Reflect on your behavior as you read this lesson. Which have you mastered? In which areas do you need to improve? 1. Congratulate your opponents when they win or experience success. This is the first rule of good sportsmanship and is equally applicable in the workplace. When you're, my screen moved. Just a second here. My screen messed up here. When your opponent has done something well, such as making a good shot in tennis or golf, congratulate them. If you lose a competition, extending congratulations with sincerity demonstrates that you are not a bitter loser and lets your opponent know you won't harbor ill feelings. 2, be a gracious winner. Never rub a loss in your opponent's face. No one likes to be around people who gloat over their wins. 3, celebrate respectfully. It's normal to feel good after a win and want to celebrate, but be conscious of others who may not share in your jubilation. Excessive celebration is a turnoff to most people. 4, maintain a sense of decorum. Always be mindful not to say derogatory things about your competitor, their team, or their candidate. Remember that when you speak poorly of your competitors, it damages your credibility and reputation in the process. 5, don't be a sore loser. Some people pout and display a negative attitude when they lose. Like, how do you feel about those people? Do you want to compete with them again? When you lose a competition, it is normal to feel dejected, but don't get labeled a sore loser. 6, use restraint. If you're on a team, play your part or your position. Don't try to cover for anyone else. If it's an individual contest, do your best, but also use your opponent's level of ability as a guide for how intense your participation should be. 7, keep a lid on your frustration. If you must rely on others to win a competition and find yourself frustrated with their poor performance, try not to let it show. Your visible frustration only discourages your teammates and makes you appear arrogant and self-centered. Instead, be the voice of encouragement. 8, play fair. You lose all credibility as a worthy competitor when you cheat. Even worse, you will lose people's respect. 9, give the advantage to your opponent. When you play or other measure of performance is questionable, give your opponent the benefit of doubt. Rarely will this cost you the competition, and it will always reflect well on your character. 10, avoid complaining or making excuses. We have all heard these things like, I couldn't see the ball because the sun was in my eyes, or I've had so much going on in my life, I just couldn't seem to focus. No matter how you disguise it, when you complain or make excuses, it's perceived as whining. Nobody enjoys being around a whiner. So if you're as much as a competitor as I am, some of these pointers will require self-control and some serious self-talk. I must admit that I learned a lot of this the hard way, but I have yet to participate in a friendly competition where winning was more important than my reputation or my relationship with my competitors. So this was a really good chapter, for us, because generally, most people that meet me, I do these calls, and if you guys would have known me back in high school or right out of school, you never would have ever dreamed I would be on a call or do anything like this. But I am a fierce competitor. I like competitions, and I may be really quiet, but I do like to compete. And our whole family is pretty good competitors, and we probably break every rule we just talked about. But I do know, to be respectful to the players, to whoever you're with is important. And I've learned, most of these traits through time. And one of the things, like if you think of your kids, like our kids played softball and baseball. And one of the things we train them from really young is to go through after the game is to congratulate, go through and shake hands with everybody. And I always thought, what a great way to teach kids, how to be respectful. And so, it's just a lot of good suggestions in here, because I know that I don't like to play with anybody that cheats, and so it's like you really start to watch over that person. But one thing, I just wanted to throw in here, we used to do at our functions, we used to play a game of spoons. And, we would do it, our team would get together and we played spoons. And what I really loved about it, it was a good way of also assessing personalities. And so this let me know you would, get to see how people really played and operate. And it also helps you know how to work with people. And this is something that we're going to be going over after we finish this book. We've kind of talked about teaching on personalities and how to work with the different personality, but being competitive and playing with people on individual, like spoons, a game of spoons or cards, you get to learn about people and how to work with them. So anyway, that's kind of what I have. Chris, what do you have to give us today?
Well, first off, you stole my thunder, because I was going to say I've heard of some games of spoons that happen in your room at conferences that say otherwise about this friendly competition stuff. But out of all these years knowing you and knowing that y'all do that almost every time y'all get together with your team, I don't know that I've talk about the benefits of seeing the interactions of your team and how they act. So I was really entertained by that. That's really awesome. On this subject, I'll tell you what, man, sometimes we get the right message at the right time. I don't know about you guys, when I show up to church on Sunday morning, sometimes it just hits you right between the eyes, and you're like, man, God had me at the right place at the right time to hear the right message. And this is one that, it's something we all need to hear in particular things going on in our life. And so as I was going through his list of 10 things here with Patty and reading along with her, I was like, man, that maintain a sense of decorum, it's that always be mindful, not to be derogatory. And, I remember one of my favorite books about our industry that's helped me grow the most is The Greatest Networker in the World, written by the late John Milton Fogg. And, man, just if you haven't read the book and you're in our industry and you work from home, I think it's a great one. It's not like, it's going to teach you how to do this or that. It's a story. It's a fable is what it says on the cover. And it just teaches you philosophy through the story. And it's a wonderful story and just a wonderful book. But in it, when he's teaching the greatest networkers, teaching this new guy different things, he kind of talks about this a little bit. And when you speak poorly of your competitors, it damages your credibility and your reputation, is what this book says. And the guy's talking to him, he's kind of telling him the same thing. Is like if you're talking to someone about your business, so you have a business in this industry of home-based businesses or network marketing, and you're talking to your prospect, if you will, and you're like, oh yeah, our company's great, it's the best one, we're the only one in the whole industry that does anything right. All the other ones, oh yeah, they're no good. They don't have any credibility. Well, guess what it tells your prospect? It tells them that yours probably don't either. The only reason you feel otherwise is it's the one you're attached to. And it helped me as I went out into the business. People would ask sometimes, like, hey, well, what about this company or what about this company when you're talking to them about yours? And you just got to restrain from going, oh, that one's no good or that one's no good. Sometimes it's best just to tell them about how good yours is. You don't always have to tear someone else down. And I don't know, I've just learned so much from that. So when I heard it again today, I just thought it was really, really good. The other one's keeping the lid on your frustration in competitive things. That frustration is a cancer to you. I've seen so many people over the years in competitive situations, something will happen where the other person gets a leg up, maybe someone in another company or something, recruits somebody you wanted to recruit or whatever, and it's your frustration that it's like a cancer to you. It's like a double loss. It's like you already lost something once and then you get all this anger and this hostility towards the other people or the other person. And, man, I've just seen people, they just go downhill after that. It's like one after another, and then it seems to just keep happening to them. And they don't understand they're in my opinion, kind of creating that through their reactions, through their, and sometimes it's just best in competition to worry about what you can control, what you can do, what you can change. And sometimes if we spend all that time trying to fix things we can't fix or be angry about things that have already happened, sometimes it prevents us from being the best of who we are. And sometimes being the best of who we can be is the most important thing we can do in the competition. It's not whether the other guy misses the shot, it's whether we miss a shot. And the last thing I'll say about that is, like, my son, he plays competitive basketball. He's going to be a senior next year. We got one more year to kind of travel and spend all kinds of money and go places all through the year. And I just really dislike when we're we're playing other teams. And, high school basketball is different than the NBA. In the NBA, everybody in the arena is yelling and got a different opinion of who did something right and wrong and all that. But high school sports, you're talking about a couple dozen families generally there, watching the game. And we play a lot of public schools, and sadly, our big homeschool team shows up and everybody's parents there, and we play these public high schools and there's like two parents there sometimes. It's really sad. But nevertheless, when they boo or make a lot of racket while they're shooting free throws, it's like, well, sometimes people that are with us will do it, and I'm like, come on, man, you ain't got to boo, you ain't got to cheer against the kid, cheer for your kid, don't cheer against the other kid, kind of. And when someone's shooting free throws in a little quiet event like that, and someone makes a big giant racket right as they're shooting, it just seems so lame, so it's one of my little pet peeves. But it's kind of about that friendly competition. It's about building that reputation. So I don't spend a lot of time telling other people what they need to do, but that's why we don't do things like this, because we want to, winning the game is important, but when we, especially being a Christian homeschool organization like we are, when we leave that place, it's a lot more important things that happened as those other teams and coaches and parents that may be there. There's a lot more important, some of the things they take away from that and the experience that they had with us and our team. So anyway, anyway, Patty, I'll flip it back to you. That's all I got to say, or all I'm going to say, because I could talk all day like always. But back to you, Patty.
Great word and good stuff. So anyway, so Todd has the Little Things Matter challenge, and he says, the next time you find yourself in the middle of a friendly competition, focus on being the kind of competitor people enjoy playing against. Long after the competition is over, what will matter the most is not whether you won or lost, but how you played the game. It kind of sums up what you said, Chris, there. And anyway, that's what we have today. We appreciate you being here. Come back and see us tomorrow for another great call, and have a great rest of your week. I'll let Chris go ahead and mute it.
Great job, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Good
morning,
everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
God bless.
Thank you. Yes, Daddy. Thank you.